Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of all world, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Yeah, got this article on RT. And it's kind of going into, just the theme, the vibe of what has just been getting pushed out in the media, in the news, just from what you can tell, is that what this thing, this whole circumstance we got, this situation isn't going away, man. This thing is gonna be, it's gonna build up steam and worsen, and people essentially, it's the general public's being, prepped for these kind of what do you call it? For things to get worse. And that's the same thing, this article I got here is essentially going into how, that time of Jacob's troubles coming, time of great tribulation, where you're gonna have, brothers are gonna be persecuted, Esau's gonna be pushing out that mark. That's that's where you're seeing these things going, and that's really all you're kind of seeing out. When you read the news and you checking out prophecy, man. And it's a spirit, the words getting out there, man. The truth of the scriptures, the mark of the beast in the scriptures, that's the microchip. The prophecy to the end, it's getting voiced abroad, man. That's getting spoken about hella among Jake, man. And it's the spirit as well, because you got Jake not really jumping on the Maxine, man. So when that time where these things are going down. So it says Maxine rollout will trigger new variants. Oxford scientist warns, add new layer of complexity to the fight. So this is what a senior scientist at Oxford University has warned that the global rollout of vaccines will prompt it to mutate, driven by immunological selection rather than adaptations we've seen so far. And this shit is like, if you're just a random, a random civilian in the world, these things are just, that doesn't even mean anything to you. it's gobbledygook, man. It might as well be some sorcery. It's a spell, because it's just like, your brain's just being like told basically like, look, it's you've been living easy till now, but everything is just gonna get more fucked, because, well, it is, rather than the adaptations we've seen so far. Speaking to UK Commons Science and Technology Committee on Wednesday, Professor Sir John Bell, Oxford's Regius Professor of Medicine, said that the mutations observed so far are a result of it adapting to be more effective in its new hosts, humans. Most of the variants we've seen so far represent a kind of adaptation to a new species. It's a bit like moving into a new apartment. You are shuffling the sofa around and making sure the TV's in the right place. What we'll see between now and the end of this year is a number of variants which are driven by immunological selection, largely by vaccines, and that will add another layer of complexity. So it's just saying, like, shit's gonna get worse. So that's why it's not going to this. And the funny thing is from the start, even from the beginning, because they said it was like, it's basically based, it's similar, to a cold or a flu. So they were saying, oh, you can just expect it to kind of be around every year, every winter. So it's really been prepped. They mentioned about, variants from the jump. It's all these things. It's just saying, like, look, this is a new layer of society being added on, and then you adjust to it. and then more, more of these layers are gonna be added on, man. And that's, the mark's gonna be one of them layers they're gonna add on, man. And it's gonna be mandatory. And for you to function in society, it's gonna be necessary, man. For you to make them payments, it's gonna be necessary. Just like now, it's like cash is getting phased out, man. Using cash, it's like there's even where I work, hardly anyone in the area. It's only really supermarkets that take cash. Even like the train stations, like I think actually, no, I don't even think the train station where I work. I don't even think they take cash anymore in the machines. They switched to only card machines. So it's like if you ain't got a card, yeah, you ain't got contactless, you ain't got your phone, something like that. You ain't got an Apple Watch, then it's like you can't really you won't be able to do shit. You have to fucking walk, a town over, essentially that kind of length to find somewhere where you can like top up your ice to to pay cash. But that's how things are getting phased in, man. Because just like with the buses, they were just like, okay, though they stopped taking cash. No, they introduced the Oyster cards. Then they were just like, okay, yeah, we're done with cash. Cash ain't gonna be accepted on buses. So this is what Bell added. A number of variants that currently exist have already demonstrated some quite profound resistance to existing immunity, either from the previous infections or vaccines, citing people who had been reinfected by the Brazilian and South African strains. Despite this, Bell said there was good news in the fight in that current vaccines do appear to have an impact on existing variants and are capable of stopping severe disease. So it's it's basically just saying expect more more chaos, and it's kind of it's mad as well. Because this thing's been used to to destroy businesses, tank the economy. It's wild. Because I was even talking to someone today, and it's like, where like you consider with the way the UK government was running for like the last 10 years, these men were talking like money was a thing that didn't exist. But now from the shadow realm, these men have brought out fucking just billions of pounds to pay for furloughs, to pay for, eat out to help out schemes, just all kinds of hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds just being thrown, into the void. That's, this, that me, I'm like, bro, how is the economy meant to recover? But then it's like, these things are being prepared, the currencies are being, what's the word I'm looking for? Not defaced, are being not weakened. There's a term I'm looking for, man. But the currency is basically not diluted. I can't even think of it right now. But the currency is essentially making it so the currency is worth less, man. It's weakening the currency, mate. So, you might get paid at the start of the month, and it's like let's say $1,000 at the start of the month, but the buying power by the end of the month is like 970, and that's that's what's ESOS had going down, where it's shit's been tanked, and that's got impacted people, getting them more fucked up in the long term, man. And it's like even now, especially in UK, hella people lost their jobs, and they're just relying on the fucking tit of the government, man, to keep them going. Which, hey, the mark slots in, man. So yeah, Acts 8 and 1. Because, when the time of Acts come again, where, the word's going out, and brothers are being tried. And that's what we're going into. We're going into that great tribulation, that time of Jacob's trouble, where you're going to have it. The mark's going to be getting pushed out, and it's going to come down to the wire, man. Esau's going to go use various kinds of gruesome means by which to have Jake take this thing, man. It's like, channels and accounts. You talk about certain things, your channel would just get nuked out of orbit, man. Esau's trying to stop this thing from from being a thing. Trying to stop this word going out, trying to stop this truth. But hey, there's nothing you can do if the Most High is behind it. If Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has made it so, you can't nothing you can do against it, man. Acts 8:1, it says, and Saul was consenting unto his death, and at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem. And they all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Yehoiada and Samaria, except the apostles. And devout men carried Stephen to his burial, and made great lamenting over him. Yeah. So that's Saul before Yahushua came to him. It was fucking up the church. Coming against brothers with force, man. That's why it was like, Stephen got stoned and he was consenting. But then that's spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because when Saul became Paul, then came mighty in the spirit, man. Brought in the the Gentiles, man. As for Saul, he made a havoc of the church, entering into every house and hailing men and women, committed them to prison. Therefore, they that were scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the word. Yeah, so scattered abroad preaching the word. That's brothers are doing now, all over the globe, teaching that word, man. You got camps all over the globe, pushing this word out in the four corners of the earth, man. This thing's, the words being magnified. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's name's being magnified. Hey, the judgment, the punishment Esau's gonna get, that's being magnified. Who the Lord's people are is being magnified. All these things are being pushed out. Why? Because that's what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua desires, man. We read this, Acts 12:1. And now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with a sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter, after Pesach, it said like the days of unleavened bread, to bring him forth to the people. So yeah, it's that persecution coming against brothers, coming against his word. That's nothing new. Because you go to Acts 5, I believe it says what? Don't teach in the name. So the name is significant as well. That name that's being magnified. That's what's got these elites shaking their boots, where they're trying to shut down this word by any means necessary. They're trying to push forward their plans by any means necessary, man. But what? That's what we're expecting. That persecution, that's that tribulation. That's the time we're going into, and that's from all signals show that's what to expect, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem HaKadosh B'Kadash Shalom.